Hey everybody, it's Chase with AV Pop Culture again, and today we're here to do a little Valentine's Day watch list. I have curated a list of movies for everybody's taste for you to watch Valentine's Day and over the course of Valentine's weekend. It's a lot of fun, so pop that tape in. I got you. Let's go do this. All right, so Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day happens to be on a Friday night this year. Now, for me, Friday night, the weekend, that means movie night, going back to old school days when I was a kid. So why not mix in a little bit of Valentine's Day shenanigans with a nice curated watch list? You can just pop it in. You don't have to think about it. Go over these movies. You can snuggle down for the weekend. You know what I'm saying? A little Chase's list and chill here. A AVA Pop Culture aphrodisiac for your Valentine's Day weekend. I'm sure a lot of people are going to go out Friday night, but dinner, a movie, Valentine's Day, it all goes together. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to get in here to this list. Nothing fancy. I'm just going to show you what I've got curated that I recommend that you watch, and a little something for everyone. I will say that I'm going to skip over the obvious, like My Bloody Valentine. That one kind of goes without saying. A lot of people are probably going to watch that. You save it for this time of year. But I do have some other ones, and let's just start out with one that has a little bit of supernatural element. It has some iconic actors and actresses in this film. One that is very, very famous. I am talking about Ghost. Now, this, of course, stars Patrick Swayze, Demi Moore. You have Whoopi Goldberg in this movie. You have a recent release here from Paramount Presents, the 4K. And you know, I'm sure a lot of you out there have probably seen this movie, but it's time for a revisit. What better way to revisit it than on physical media 4K? These Paramount Presents are awesome. And you know the story here. Patrick Swayze, he kind of stumbles across something that he shouldn't. He gets killed for his trouble, and he has to learn how to be a ghost in order to save the love of his life and communicate with her. That's Demi Moore. Whoopi Goldberg plays a psychic in this that helps facilitate that. Classic scenes, the pottery scene, just there's a lot going on here when he learns how to be a ghost and move things, basically be able to haunt and affect the living world. This movie was massive when it came out, so it's got a little bit of darkness to it. It's got the romance. It's got the heartbreaking, tragic love story that gives you all the feels. So if you're looking for something to kind of have a little bit of a spooky edge, a supernatural edge, but still satisfy the romantic needs of the weekend, you could do a lot worse than Ghost. I recommend it. Paramount Presents, great looking 4K here. That one's on our list. All right, now next on our list is another one that I try to wedge in anywhere I can. I try to tell everyone I know about this movie. This takes romance and love from a different angle, kind of like we've all had our famous crushes, the stars, the actors, the actresses that, you know, maybe they're your hall pass with your significant other. Maybe you were a teenager and you were dreaming about these people, and it's sort of like touching the gods type thing. This movie has all of those feels, and it's based on a true story. I'm talking about My Week with Marilyn. This stars Michelle Williams, who's nominated for an Oscar for her portrayal of Marilyn. Everybody wants to talk about Ana de Armas in Blonde. Michelle Williams, I'm a big Marilyn fan. I actually think Michelle Williams does a better job. And both were nominated for awards, right? So they both did well. This is a Kenneth Branagh film. Stars Eddie Redmayne. Judi Dench is in this film. But it tells the story of, you also have Emma Watson in here, Hermione. This tells the story of Eddie Redmayne's character, who's a third AD working on the film. I think The Princess and the Showgirl, or The Prince and the Showgirl, I think is the name of it. Marilyn's movie that she did with Sir Laurence Olivier. And Kenneth Branagh plays Laurence Olivier in this movie. And Eddie Redmayne is the third director on the film, the third AD, who's a glorified gopher, really, but he's breaking into show business. And he has his week with Marilyn. Really, in real life, it's based on his memoirs. It was more like a month over the course of shooting where he has an affair with Marilyn. And as much as films like Blonde and stuff like that want to portray the idea that Hollywood, and The Substance did this too, that Hollywood chews up actresses and spits them out. Hollywood can do that to anyone. But Marilyn was quite the connoisseur of men. Like, she famously said she didn't mind being a woman in a man's world, didn't mind living in a man's world as long as she got to be a woman in it. She loved men. And this was, I mean, maybe one of the highlights of this guy's life is his time that he spent with Marilyn. This captures their little love affair, because she said she fell in love so quickly and easily, but then she just moves on. That was how she was. It captures so much about her, but a fleeting, like legendary romance sort of approach to Valentine's Day watch here. I think it captures all of those like wish fulfillment type impossible situation vibes. My Week with Marilyn, it just made a little extra special because it's based on a true story, but definitely on my watch list. Now we're going to take a little more sinister turn. This is a movie that I just recommended recently on a list of sexy movies and stuff like that, just kind of like over the top hot movies. So make sure you check out that list. I'll try to link it here. I'm talking about Cruel Intentions. This movie has the famous kissing scene with Sarah Michelle Gellar and Selma Blair. You have Ryan Phillippe in here. You have Reese Witherspoon in here. You have Joshua Jackson in this movie. It's kind of like a who's who of like up and coming actors from that time. But this is a retelling of the movie Dangerous Liaisons. And it's kind of sinister because it's kind of a twisted love thing that is basically more about sex and how desire can corrupt and manipulate people. So it's a very different type of look at a romantic weekend. So I told you a little bit of everything coming at love and sex and desire and all that stuff from different angles for your Valentine's Day weekend watch list. So I put Cruel Intentions on that list, and enjoy that kissing scene. But definitely a different Valentine's Day vibe. Now, for another very different, we're going to go horror here. We're going to go horror, but I'm not going, like I said, I'm not going with My Bloody Valentine, but I'm going with a horror movie based on Valentine's Day, kind of, that is, I think, severely underrated. I think this movie is very well acted. Very well acted. It's very well shot. It's got a clever script. It follows slasher and almost giallo rules. It has beautiful women. The lead actor is a really good actor. He's been in tons of TV shows as the lead. I'm talking about Valentine. Now, some people mock this movie. They don't think this movie is good. I would say that they're probably not filmmakers. It's not like a great award-winning film, but all those things I just said applied. It has a smart script. It has good acting, especially for this genre. It's shot really well. And it does have like slasher and giallo feels to it. Now, David Boreanaz, who played Angel in Buffy and Angel, he played Bones on the show, or he played Seeley Booth on the show Bones. He's on SEAL Team 6 now. Dude's done everything. He's a good actor and he's perfect for this role, kind of like stoic and everything else. But to fill your cup, you also have, your Denise Richards of the world here. You got Katherine Heigl in this movie. And it's a revenge sort of slasher tale here. And the killer wears a Cupid's mask. So you've got all the Valentine's Day vibes. I'm just going to read you a little bit back what it says here. Revenge is sweet, just like a Valentine bonbon. At least that's what vengeful Cupid mask killer thinks. Be my Valentine or else. I mean, it's hot where it needs to be. It's sexy. It's got your horror elements, all that stuff. I'm really not sure where the bad publicity or the bad attitudes towards this movie come, especially from if you like any kind of slashers. If you were into 80s slashers and stuff growing up, this movie is right up your alley. If you're into giallo films, this movie is right up your alley. You got your whole masked killer. I dig it all. You got hot women, Valentine's, all that. It checks all the boxes for this watch list. I highly recommend it. This is one that I would buy day one on 4K. I'd buy it day one. Day one. There's a Scream Factory Blu-ray. I've got the old Snapper Case DVD. I am holding out for a 4K of Valentine. Check it out. It fits in nicely as we're getting a different little smorgasbord of Valentine's Day watching here. So there you go. Now, changing tones again, I had to have a little raunchy love story. You got to have the sweet heart to the movie, but you need a little raunchiness. You need a little over the top. You need a little sex comedy. You need a little boobs. You need a little, that a little bit there. We're all grown. You got to have a little bit of that in there. One of my favorites, very underrated. I don't hear people talk about this movie a lot. And I'm talking about She's Out of My League. Now, I know there's an unrated version of this that I really probably need to get. This stars Jay Baruchel and Alice Eve. And Alice Eve is absolutely gorgeous in this movie. I think she's a beautiful actress. But a perfect blend of sweet and raunchy. I think that is a perfect way to say this. Jay Baruchel is just your kind of, every man, just average to below average looking goofy dude with a good heart and all that, and his ex-girlfriend dumps him. She treats him like garbage. His family treats him like garbage, but he's still just a good dude. He's a good dude to his friends. He works at the TSA at the airport when Alice Eve just stops traffic walking through there, and he bails her out of his jerk of a boss trying to, give her a hard time because he's just trying to look at her longer. He ends up with her phone because she forgets her phone. So that's how they have their little meet cute moment. So you still have that in here. And then she has him come on a date with her. He's so thinks it's just so otherworldly that this girl would give him the time of day that he doesn't even think he's there on a date with her. And they begin this unlikely romance. Yes, to start with, she's into him because she thinks, maybe if I underkick my coverage, then I won't get hurt by a D-bag guy. And he's definitely out kicking his coverage here with her. But it begins to work. Their differences cause some problems. It's up and down. There's definitely the raunchy factor to this. There's definitely hot factor. Alice Eve just can make something so simple hot. There's a scene where they're all going to go swimming at his house and they're trying to talk her into going swimming. And she's like, I don't have a bathing suit. And, they're like, oh, it's okay. You can wear your underwear. That's perfectly fine. And she's like, underwear would be perfectly fine if I were wearing any. And she's just in this short skirt dress, sundress. And it just sidetracks their whole conversation around dinner. They can't think about anything about whether or not she's wearing underwear. She has that kind of effect in the movie. It's that kind of film, but it has a nice heart to it. And I think it's perfect for this type of watching. You're going to laugh. You're going to get a little naughty vibes, all that stuff together. So She's Out of My League. Love this movie. Absolutely love it. Perfect in this little crazy mix. Now, one that's not really in this mix, but I do want to mention it. If you're looking for like a Valentine's related horror movie that is like a so bad it's kind of charming thing, because this is in no way, I don't think this is a good movie at all. But if you're looking for a kind of it's so bad it's good, and you want to see like a young Anna Faris in something, and Sarah Lancaster, who was in Chuck and has done some other things, you can check out Lover's Lane from Arrow. Now, this movie has its problems. The audio is up and down. Like, it's way worse than any audio on my micro budget or independent budget set. I mean, it goes up and down like bad. But you know, it supplies your Hookman story, your teenagers getting it on at Lover's Lane kind of story in the backseat of a car. It's got all those vibes in it, and it's, centers around Valentine's Day, the whole Lover's Lane thing. It's one of those throw in popcorn, kind of a so bad it's good, and even though I'm not the biggest fan of saying that way, but it's enjoyable campiness, and it ends up getting some good kills towards the end. It's just a take on the Hookman story, kind of set around Valentine's and Lover's Lane. So just kind of wanted to throw that in. Not really on the list, but if you're just looking for something outside of this total B-movie style, you could add this one in if you got time. But now it's time to close out with a couple of classics on this list. One is timeless because this couple has been one of the legendary couples in Hollywood, so you might as well take a lesson from them in Overboard with Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. Now, I love Kurt Russell. Anytime I can get him in something, I'm going to do it. I got this cool Blu-ray a while back from Severin, believe it or not, for like $4, and with the slip cover, which I absolutely love here. But this is kind of, how does it fit in? Well, this is kind of like finding love that you never would have cared to find, in a way that you could never imagine finding, and in a way that you can take advantage of. I mean, so Goldie Hawn is rich. She is an irritating woman, and she ends up with amnesia after going overboard. Kurt Russell convinces her that they are married and that they have these kids, and it's this wild house, and she becomes like basically part of the family, and then does she get her memory back? What happens then? This movie's been remade. Skip the remake. Stay with the original couple, because it's so cool, because they're a couple in real life and they've been together forever. And I love Overboard. Kind of fits in, a little wackiness, a little bit different take, but with a real life couple. So Overboard fits in on this list. And number one, the kind of goat for this list for a lot of people, Meg Ryan, Tom Hanks. They've done so many of these type of movies together. They were iconic for these movies, but the one that culminates with Valentine's Day, that people consider maybe one of the best sort of rom-coms, although it's a little actually light on the comedy, it's a little heavier, is Sleepless in Seattle. Now, I have this 4K out of the Columbia Classics set, and I don't really like that artwork on that cover. I don't like their covers. I like this sort of original poster art here. Now, a funny thing, one of my writing professors, visiting writing professor from USC film school, that taught me at the University of Georgia, he actually ended up being in my movie Dark Road 79 with me. He was a script doctor, and he kind of did a pass on this script, kind of like editing, touching up and stuff like that. So that's super cool. You got Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan, classic story, being retold. His wife had passed away, he has a young son. He moves to Seattle in order to kind of get away from it so that he doesn't have so many powerful memories of them everywhere. And his son gets him on the phone on a late night call in, like Love Doctor, old school, like late night FM DJ type show. And Meg Ryan hears him. She's in a relationship, but there's just something about it she kind of falls in love with. And that is how things start to facilitate in the movie. And it culminates on a Valentine's Day. So I think it's the perfect watch. It's absolutely classic. Yeah, it's Nora Ephron, if I'm not mistaken. Right, yeah, Nora Ephron film. And I think she worked again with them on You've Got Mail, maybe another one. But this was just quintessential, must-watch viewing. to be 100% honest, I'm going to be watching this weekend. I'm probably going to watch several of these. I'm going to watch this and Valentine are probably going to be my first two up to watch. In full disclosure, I just watched Cruel Intentions for the other list that I mentioned, so I don't know if I'll rewatch that. My week with Marilyn, I watch any chance that I get. I just watched this, getting ready for this list. If you guys would like a 4K review of Ghost and what I think of it, you can let me know in the comments. I can do a full deep dive review how I do those, but you guys can let me know on that. But these two are first up to watch. I know that's a wide difference, but I'm going to be watching these, and then I will probably finish off with She's Out of My League, because you got to finish off on a little naughty, raunchy note, and that's what we're going to do here. Just a fun little list, nothing big, but a nice little curated list, so makes it easy. Take one decision off your plate. You got to figure out where you're going out to eat. Are you cooking her dinner? Are you getting flowers? Are you getting chocolates? What are you doing? This takes something off the list. I got your entertainment covered here because I am looking out for you. I'm trying to help you score this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. So you can do it with these. But if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. If you want to help support what I do here, you can join below at my Patreon link or right here on YouTube, a couple dollars a month. You're going to get your name in lights, director style, here on every single video. Behind the scenes looks at my filmmaking, special members only content, and so much more. The day you see this is going to be, the day this drops is Thursday the 13th. I am having a live stream tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time on my channel. Now, if you see this in the future, you missed the live stream. Go back and watch it. But if not, you can check out that live stream tonight. We got lots of stuff to talk about on there that I don't have time and doesn't fit with this list. But I never run out of things to talk about when it comes to movies. And if you dig that, please stick around. But until next time, be kind, rewind like always. This is Chase with AV Pop Culture, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.
I know.